Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Environmentally conscious and privacy-seeking Harry and Meghan were spotted taking a private plane to Las Vegas with Cameron Diaz, Benji Madden and Zoe Saldana to watch Katy Perry's concert over the weekend, according to the Daily Mail. It is unclear why the couple chose to fly private for 40 minutes rather than drive the 359 miles. Onlookers described Harry as looking bored at the concert. One social media clip showed Meghan swaying to the hit Roar as she clapped her hands to the rhythm and boogied along as Harry gently rocked himself back and forth to the beat. Another social media user posted, "He always looks bored. Megsy just drags him along." Body language expert Judy James told Fabulous, "Harry might like to relish his role as the cool one of the royal family, but that is an extremely low bar. And seeing him mingling in the world of Hollywood celebrity again here, his body language does define him as the proverbial fish out of water. It was Celine Dion getting all the fuss and star treatment here, while Harry appeared to be queuing to walk past her. In the UK, he would have never been upstaged or outranked by a celebrity. He almost looks uncomfortable or even shy in this type of environment, keen to look fun for Meghan, but quite possibly suffering inside too. While Meghan clearly enjoys the concert, smiling and getting up out of her seat to clap and dance, Harry's body language responses seem to fluctuate between extremes, as they did at the Beyoncé concert. 1 minute he is laughing with his wife and leaning to chat with her friends, but the next there is this facial expression of detachment and look of awkwardness. As a royal, he would have inhabited royal boxes and private enclosures, but here he is looking for his seat like any other punter, wandering into the wrong place and having to be tapped on the back by an usher and shown which row he is actually sitting in. While Harry was flying private, his brother, the future king, was wearing a tie made from recycled plastic bottles. A royal source said William bought the tie rather than accepting it as a gift. He's a fan of sustainable clothing, the source said. William is in Singapore as part of the Earthshot Prize and explained why Kate stayed home. William said, "I'm delighted to be back in Singapore. It's been 11 years since Catherine and I enjoyed a memorable visit here on behalf of my late grandmother in her Diamond Jubilee year. And I should mention that Catherine is very sorry she can't be here. She is helping George through his first set of major exams." This United for Wildlife Summit will address how to protect our natural world from the international criminal gangs intent on plundering it. The world is losing its most precious natural resources at a frightening pace, all in the name of greed and exploitation. William won his dragon boat race, surprising as he is not known to be a dragon boat expert, but it does make for good PR. The British Dragons dragon boat racing team came out on top in the race, which showcases a sport that dates back more than 2,000 years and involves a crew of 22 team members made up of 20 paddlers who face the bow of the boat, a drummer at the bow and a steer standing at the rear. William was joined by a mixed-gender crew with representation from 14 nationalities, including 8 Commonwealth nations. William also visited the Jewel, a nature-themed entertainment and retail complex linked to one of the airport's passenger terminals. The Jewel houses the world's tallest indoor waterfall, the HSBC Rain Vortex, surrounded by terraced gardens and trees. William posed for selfies, received gifts from the crowd of well-wishers, and was bitten by a baby. The Mirror tells us the 8-month-old chomped down for a taste of the future king's royal digit. William gave him a large grin as the baby held his hand and looked up at him with a smile. Palace Intrigue will be right back. The feud/rivalry between the Sussexes and Beckhams has a new wrinkle. The Express points out, Beckham, a series following David's rise to football stardom, has been among Netflix's top-watched since its release at the start of October. Google Trends data shows that the release of the Sporting Icons documentary has seen a massive spike in associated searches, outdoing the minor jump in interest that accompanied the Harry and Meghan series. And on Rotten Tomatoes, Beckham has an average audience score of 98%. Harry and Meghan's sits at 19%. An unnamed royal commentator was quoted by the Express as saying, "The Duke and Duchess soul-bearing and TV emoting saw their US favorability absolutely tank, and in only a matter of weeks." Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams told gbnews.com, "Princess Eugenie knows what she is doing. The fact that she is close to the Sussexes could be an advantage. You need a foot in both camps. One day they will hope for a peaceful resolution so that they could be very useful. We are seeing more and more call for Eugenie and Beatrice to become more visible. Royal commentator Richard Eden opined, "As I have watched the King and Queen carry out engagements in East Africa, what has struck me most is that they need help. If we want the monarchy to continue to be as strong as it was under the late Queen, we need new recruits to the firm. King Charles should ask his sensible nieces, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, if they would like to become working royals. I know they have a great sense of duty, so they would be likely to agree." Eden added, "After his mother, Queen Elizabeth, succeeded to the throne at the age of 25, she embarked with Prince Philip on her longest ever Commonwealth tour, lasting 6 months and covering 44,000 miles. There will be nothing remotely on that scale for the King and Queen." Sarah Ferguson praised Beatrice and Eugenie as her biggest cheerleaders since her cancer diagnosis. Ferguson told People, "My two wonderful daughters are my wholehearted cheerleaders, my devoted champions and my soulmates, and they have been as supportive as can be, as they always are." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalacintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or your app of choice. And if you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.